Hello, fellow urinary tract/disease-ridden fans. I think we can all agree the candidates for future Dark Worlds is a long debated topic. When looking at characters that could take center stage in these upcoming chapters, you can't forget about the Skeleton Brothers.
Not that the internet would let you.
So naturally, when Toby Fox threw us his new meta masterpiece with a Gaster-scented candle, people's immediate reaction upon getting the ability to jaywalk through Hometown was to hunt down Tumblr sexy men. Wow, in this new world, Sans owns a grocery store and still fucks our mom. Thanks, Gaster, for overclocking the core to make this beautiful new Hometown just for us. I can't wait to see what Papyrus is up to. What? What do you mean I can't see him? Okay, fine, I'll just wait till chapter 2 and... What? Has to wait? I'm a Deltarune fan, I'm allergic to waiting. Fine, I'll just go to the Steam page and see when the next... He's busy? Wait, did it say busy? Busy doing what? Papyrus Night jokes aside, it's obvious that Toby is hinting towards something rather suspicious going on with Papyrus. Sans says that since they are new in Hometown, Papyrus needs new friends, but I have a hard time believing that. The Papyrus we know and love would be out on the town searching for friends in his over-the-top ways we've come accustomed to, so the fact that we see a supposedly friendless Papyrus not sharing himself with the world, it's not very believable to me. So, what's up with Deltarune Papyrus? If you interact with the door to their house, it says, no response, but the distant trousel of bones. This inconspicuous flavor text is stating that Papyrus is home, yet does not respond to a possible new friend quite literally knocking on his door. It becomes apparent this is not the Papyrus we know. Now, I don't think this is exactly hinting towards Papyrus being the knight, though possible and frankly a really fun concept. I doubt Toby would put so much emphasis on an already fleshed out character in Deltarune's story. It's especially likely Papyrus can't be the knight, considering that Deltarune was originally going to have an animated intro. At the end of said intro, everyone is running up a staircase as the silhouettes of the bosses from all the chapters show up, and the knight, standing in a white door at the top of the stairs, turns around and looks down at them. Yeah, this isn't the most ambiguous shape. So, if Papyrus really is the one running around creating these dark fountains, this intro would have made all the buildup of the knight's identity practically pointless. The argument could be made that Papyrus's easily recognizable figure is the reason as to why this intro was scrapped, but the way Toby talks about this scrapped intro, it seems it was planned for quite a long time during the development of Chapter 1. And I doubt it would take Mr. Fox a long time to figure out the obvious flaw in this way of presenting the knight. It's important to note the lack of a royal guard in Deltarune that would make Papyrus want to become more extroverted. You could say that Papyrus's want to be part of the royal guard could be replaced with Hometown's police force, but I doubt it, since being a police officer is a lot less mystical than the royal guard. And Undertale specifically shows us that Papyrus is more interested in the royal guard for the mystical and status aspects of it, which is something not very present in Hometown's police force. These four factors, I believe, are hinting towards Papyrus possibly being a social recluse who may struggle with shyness, hence Sans trying to outsource his brother some friends. This is all to say that Papyrus seems to be the only Deltarune character who is wildly different from their Undertale counterpart, other than Mettaton and Mad Mew Mew, of course, therefore being an unexplored character of interest in Deltarune. I'm just now realizing that if Deltarune Papyrus is not the same as Undertale Papyrus, then it's more probable for him to be the knight, since he would basically be a whole new character, so if you like the idea of Pap Knight, then keep that in mind, I guess. And with the seeming impending trend of Dark World casts consisting of Undertale characters and sometimes Noelle for a little homicide spice, it's pretty likely that Papyrus will be a main character in a future Dark World, and hopefully Sans too. What chapter would they appear in? I don't know, it's pretty hard to place their chapter in a concrete spot considering we have so much left of the game to experience, but we can probably rule out chapter 3, unless Sans was sleeping over at Toriel's for unspecified reasons. What Dark World? At first, this question seems like it has an obvious answer. The Sans and Papyrus chapter will be in Sans' grocery store or their house, and this makes sense. Until you realize that Undyne, who would otherwise only be associated with the police station, is most likely being dragged into Tenna's wild ride as a result of Toriel calling the police. With the knowledge that just because an Undertale character is associated with a potential Dark World does not guarantee that said Dark World will be featured, it narrows the list for potential new chapter locations. Knowing this, how can we be so sure that Sans' grocery store, a place seemingly made for gags, Soriel fuel, and Asgore torture, can be something as important as a Dark World? Well, for starters, Toby really likes his skeletons. If you count the amount of times each Undertale character has appeared in the Undertale/Deltarune newsletters, not counting their necessary appearances like merch or collab announcements, you end up with...
Maybe it's the way you're dressed.
Okay, I'm kidding. These are the real results. Oh boy. Not only do Sans and Papyrus have more than double the appearances than other characters, Papyrus is one of the only two characters to have been given a character Q&A. I'm not saying that just because they're Toby's favorite children means they'll be in Deltarune though. Dark World guest characters need an interesting place to explore, and preferably one that works nicely with said character's, well, character. For examples of characters who work well with their Dark World, think of Birdly, an egotistical teacher's pet who in the cyber world functions as a narcissistic knight serving the queen. Or Noelle, a glitch hunter with a strict mother, traveling through a city populated by literal glitch people.
Fuck you, Cyber City!
Run by an authoritarian mother figure. So it's time we talk about the actual Dark World location. Some people may say the grocery store is too boring looking to be a Dark World, but Hometown's library is drier than things left to talk about in this game, so I doubt visual intrigue, at least on the inside, is very important when it comes to Dark World fountain locations. And I know what some people are gonna say, but Christmas Tree Farmer, there's no set of double doors. Every Dark World we've had so far had double doors. One more possible hint towards Hometown's grocery store being a possible Dark World comes from the NPC Diamond Boy, who says this: "Sometimes the Hoofed Girl comes in here, opens the freezer door, then stands in front of it, lost in thought. Guess she really likes the cold, or waffles." Now the reasoning as to why Noelle just stares could be her just being weird, or something related to death and ice magic. Nevertheless, that's besides the point. The point being, a prospect of a Dark World with a focus on freezing and cold is a huge opportunity to dive into Noelle as a character, especially on the Snowgrave route. If this Dark World were to open, I could totally see a Snowgrave route where we have to fight Papyrus at the end, because he knows we can be a better person, informing us that manipulation and murder is, contrary to popular belief, not good. Chris's response to that being... The grocery store is all well and good, but it's not the only place in Hometown these two's Dark World could open. The other likely spot for their Dark World being right in their house. As for the evidence, Chapter 1 hinted that the library was a future Dark World by having the annoying dog play maracas in the closed library door. A few years later, during Fangamer's stream for Undertale's 6th anniversary, look who's on Sans' balcony. Now you could rebuttal this by saying it's unlikely a Dark World would be opened in such a familiar place, but keep in mind that Sans' store is literally just Grillby's on the outside. The interior of it's all new though, so I don't see why the same can't be said about their house. After all, Toby said it himself, Deltarune's world is a different one, with different characters who have lived different lives. Anyway, I appreciate any of you who tolerated my poorly structured ramblings about Toby Fox's calcium critters long enough to reach this point. I hope these videos can help satiate your Deltarune cravings just a bit during the great Chapter 2 drought we're all in. I don't have much to say, so I think I'll leave it here. I really appreciate anyone who watched this, and would love to hear any Dark World/character predictions you have. Those are always fun to read, and they're half the reason I made this video. Anyway, I hope you'll come back for the next one. Bye bye.